Hey guys, it's Kussi. Welcome back to episode 3 of me trying to survive the first boss in Mechagon in this Zero to Hero Demonology Warlock 3K edition. In the last episode, we put in enough reps to snatch ourselves some primed up Keystone Masters, met the most undergeared and most overgeared blood decays I have seen so far, found out why nobody watches Robo Wars anymore, and also had the opportunity to grab ourselves a plus 10 key 25 minutes before reset, which was our last chance of success since the servers went down for longer due to the new patch. Which means, I will show you the conclusion of that, while also ensuring updates in form of crafted items, insane biz loot from dungeons, as well as a vault to open up. I also will bring back the long lost art of me explaining the rotation of a spec to you in 90 seconds or less, which is so ancient that I only did it once during my second series ever in Dragonflight Season 2. So yeah, Yes! Anyways, we also charge ass first towards a more pristine 2.5k rating, which means we not only got some deep fried KFC imp wings on the menu, but also plus 10 keys with all kind of funny shenanigans. So if you're ready for all of the above, then make sure to grab a drink, get comfy, quickly hit the like button, and enjoy the third episode of the only pet class that matters. Alright, so in order to wrap up the second week of playing, I need you to show what happened with the plus 10 Dark Flame I got after pre-chesting the 7th Priory 25 minutes before reset. Nothing. Nothing happened at all. I went offline, went to bed. I was cooked, man, what can I tell you? So we start off the episode with a vault right away. Surely this time we will have some more choices compared to last week. What do we know? I technically got 5 out of 5 items as upgrades. Crazy. We got 3 set pieces, all hero, which are a decent upgrade from all the champ pieces and even a vet chest. We got a ring that has some nice stats, and we got a weapon. Not gonna lie, I was kinda upset I didn't do the 10 now, since a mid-level weapon would have been huge. But it is what it is, so I take the chest piece since it's the biggest bumper in stats. Another thing to mention is time walking, which is up this week, but in no way I'ma do that for some crusty ass champion wrist or something. I also sipped all the items I could get from a normal raid and nothing really matters. So while I show you some sussy keys that were all just the build up for our first actual 10, I think it's time to revive the earlier mentioned ancient art of learning a spec in 90 seconds or less.
Welcome to the Pristine Zero to Hero Demonology Warlock Guide, in which the half-horsed Muppet will try to explain a spec he doesn't understand himself in just over a minute. Many of these exist, but none of them is able to just hit the nail on the head with pinpoint accurate instructions like the dude that has been playing this crap for about 2 weeks' time. Pick up pen and notepad in order to take in the never-ending flood of informations of the one they call Yeeter of Many, Demon Pimp, and Dinosaur of the Year.
90 seconds on the clock, please. Alright, first and foremost, we need to establish the basics, and with Warlock, this means we got pets. So if you're a furry, Kim Kardashian, or Diddy's baby oil dealer, you got options. Bad news for us, Demo doesn't have options. Good news, we got the beefy boy with the big ass pecs and the big ass axe. And if you think for a second that we're just hiding behind our demon daddy, then you're absolutely correct. But wait, there's more. We got puppies, DNA manipulated zebras, a twin daddy, and the entire family from Harry Potter's little shit elf, which we can tag in on demand to make them work for us. The gameplay insists of a very baseline gain soul shot, spend soul shot type of party. Shadow Bolt and Demon Bolt will gain, while summoning your slaves alongside Hand of the Goat will use them. Our entire core rotation revolves around the goop father called Tyrant, as we need to ensure to have all demons present plus an extra of 5 imps before summoning this bad boy, as it heavily increases its damage done. So you want to start with Power Siphon, Shadow Bolt into Grimoire, Shadow Bolt into Charhound, Shadow Bolt into Doggies, then Hand of Gul'dan, Demon Bolt hit 3 shards, another Hand of Gul'dan, and after that, we let the bulky beast off its leash and watch carnage. If you got the doggy proc, make sure you summon another round of the imps before summoning the Mac Daddy of the Demon World. And then it's rinse and repeat. Stack soul shards, use soul shards. Use all your dogs, hounds on cooldowns as they line up perfectly with Tyrant every minute. After that, you just watch hell break loose because you got about 1500 passives all working with each other to multi-stack damage over damage on top of damage, alongside some passive perks that will make your life easier. Force set will continue to bring you more bitches, and to your enemies, more stitches, making your Fabstalker the most dangerous beast in all of Donegal. Well, right after whatever the hell that thing is. Have fun. Good luck. Easy baby, still got it. Now, before we continue where we left off, we do have some quick more upgrades to talk about. Not only did I craft myself a staff, you heard me, handmade baby. We also got myself a new belt as a little side piece with the embellishment. And with that, I was ready for the big leagues. No more lousy hero items and vaults. We are prepared for the big, booty disappointment with our first +10, Rookery. Now the good thing about 10s, you can be pretty picky with whatever you invite, if you got a decent key that is. And even though some may complain about me inviting people with better gear to aid my purpose, I don't really care. It's a puck experience after all, and I'm not gonna sit here, invite gamers with no score or gear, and then act surprised if it goes to shits. So I made sure I got at least 2 CRs, a Bloodlust, and at least 2 Dispels to deal with this week's affix. Speaking of, we got Devour this week to play around. And I'm mildly upset I can't do shit against the affix, besides praying, hence why you are going to see me inviting a lot more Dispelling classes in this video. Besides your average utility comp, this is something you need to be aware of while pucking. Invite classes or specs that will compensate for things you might lack. So because I was lacking some epicness, I got myself another Warlock for the remaining lock off versus an Affliction. And, well yeah, I mean I did some damage, but not that damage. Crazy. And yet we learned that damage alone won't save you from greed. At least I wasn't the only one, which means this ability is super difficult to be played.
Stop the cap!
Now the trash between first and second boss is arguably the roughest part of this dungeon. So much party damage, so you really need to be invested into using defenses. And we got a few options for that. Unending Resolve, which is our only actual damage reduction with a juicy 3-minute cooldown, but boy is this thing solid. 40% for 8 seconds is nothing to sneeze at, but because of its cooldown, this is not allowed to be wasted. Which maybe is a bit of a problem, but once you figure out which bosses or packs will hurt you the most, it's fine. We also do have 2 more active buttons that will save us more often. Dark Pact, which is you sacrificing 20% of your current HP for a shield equal to double of the offered health. Keep in mind, this is a spell you want to use before damage is incoming, because if you use this in low HP, the shield will also be quite ass. However, if you're low HP, we got some evil looking health stones to take care of that. Not only are these suckers more impactful than those boring ass green skittle health stones, but in combination with Soul Burn, they are giga insane. They pretty much heal you for 50% of your HP while being used during Soul Burn, with an extra effect on gaining 20% overall health. And more health equals more shield from Dark Pact. So when you're low, don't panic. Use Soul Burn into Healthstone and then use Dark Pact for some giga big shield to save your ass. Both of them are on a 1-minute cooldown, where you can lower the cooldown of Pact to even 45 seconds. You still got even more passive damage reductions, but you know they're passive, so I don't really have to list them up. Back to the dungeon, we did struggle a bit with playing the affix, which honestly is also just my bad. You could always make the argument that the Affliction can go for an Imp, and he offered up to do that, but it's probably smarter on my end to just invite an overall of 3 people who could dispel. After all, the Affliction has to trade off his kick for the dispel. And keep in mind, sometimes the healer is required to dispel something else. So, lesson learned. But besides that big struggle during Gorin and the minor problems resulting into random deaths every now and then, we still managed to get through it and time our first +10. Third in damage, but I feel like with this overall from the party, I easily could have topped the shards if I just played it better.
Okay.
Which means, we learned 2 things. More dispels, and to play it better. Look man, I know you guys meant well telling me how to use my teleport in advance in order to prevent that from happening. And you're right, it would have prevented this whole thing. But what the actual hell is this shit? And yet the shittery didn't stop there. I think for the very first time this season, I died on Cujo because I was standing behind the wrong box. How can you even miss that?
I don't know, Jeff.
The way I played so incredibly ass that I died on every damn boss was making me upset. I really dislike playing bad, for real. Nothing triggers me more than me being ass. At least I was somewhat useful with my CRs on the final boss, as that's the only one where I didn't pack up. But if there ever was a carry, it was this thing. Holy hell do I need to focus up.
That's a lot of damage!
Oh yeah, this is going well, I can feel it.
Nope.
Okay, so this one was not my bad. This is what happens when you don't pull this pack back to prevent the knockback body pulls. And as a demo log, I got this big problem that I can't use my kick to help gathering, because X-Toss is also a stun and the tank just refused to put them all together. 12 deaths just because we didn't backtrack the pack. That's crazy, man. At least this time I was feeling myself on certain pulls, and I really enjoy how Demo is just shredding away those smaller suckers, even though I just played the normal rotation I played during single target. I love it.
I love it!
Now on the second boss I figured out some ways to play this rather nice and lock. I put teleport down next to the candle, then I walk to another one. So when you get the debuff, you can easily light up 2 of them without much stress. Furthermore, both spells of this boss that will do some serious damage are used every minute, so you can use your Dark Pact for the big AoE candle blower and Healthstone during the targeted wins. Help the healer to help you, you know? Though the worrisome part is yet to come with the Candle King standing in front of us. Playing the mechanics is so damn important here because unlike other bosses, this won't just one-shot your ass. It will slowly drag your HP down and give your healer a mental breakdown while doing so. It's also one of those bosses where if one party member dies, it's getting so much more difficult. But luckily we had some sparks of brilliance to play the wax figures cleanly, and that's what I'm talking about, baby. Big deeps, now we're cooking. And boy did we need to stir it up for the next one, as we not only gotten ourselves an Outlaw Rogue, which we don't see often, we also gotten a Brewmaster Monk and the Press Evoker. This looks like a Make-A-Wish Party WoW edition.
You can't say that!
And while we played the first pull super clean, without no casualties, we had a second pull that was, let's say quite mid. Never seen somebody pull this pack on purpose, especially with the jumping mini-boss together. This seems to be a cooldown pull, so doing that right after was not expected on my end. I think the combination of packs is playable, but it wasn't expected. Be it as it may, this was the first time I did this route. Ignoring the 6 mobs down there in order to play the one big pull was insanely smart. Just way less damage on the party since those light elementals slapped the shit out of you. Matter of fact, I like this route so much that I tried to use some of its magic on my monk later that day. Also, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but on the double boss in here, use all kinds of cleave, if it's increasing your damage. They share HP, so even if you target the secondary boss, it will still work out perfectly. And there's another tip I give to you. If you take a lot of damage, maybe disable Burning Rush, you idiot. But hey, besides the second pull that I simply didn't see coming at all, this was such a clean run. Fast pace as well. 2 chests. Very hyped to have our very first +12 ready to go. Surely, this will be fine.